Most people walk into a grocery store and think they're making smart choices. They grab what's on sale. They reach for the brand they've always trusted. They fill the cart the same way they did last year, and they walk out feeling fine. But there's a small group of shoppers who do things completely differently. They've done the research, they've looked at the numbers, and they've quietly stopped buying certain items altogether. I'm going to share 12 of those items with you today. And I have to warn you, number 7 is going to stop you in your tracks. Most people interact with it every single week and have no idea what they're actually paying for. If you're new here, hit subscribe now. We cover this kind of insider consumer knowledge every week, the stuff that saves real money and helps real families. Let's get into it. Item number 1, pre-washed bagged salad. This one feels like a smart buy. It looks healthy, it saves time, and it's sitting right there in the produce section looking perfectly convenient. But smart preppers stopped buying it a long time ago. Here's the problem. Bagged salad has one of the highest shrinkage rates of any item in your grocery cart. You get home, open the bag 2 days later, and half of it is already turning. The moisture trapped inside those sealed bags accelerates breakdown faster than a whole head of lettuce ever would. I started tracking this myself about 8 months ago. I bought bagged salad mix every week for a month and weighed what I actually ate versus what I threw away. I was losing almost 30% of every bag. That's money straight into the trash. On top of that, bagged salad is almost always marked up significantly over whole heads of romaine, cabbage, or spinach. You're paying extra for the convenience of washing, chopping, and mixing. Work that takes about 4 minutes if you do it yourself. The practical move is to buy whole heads of lettuce or a full bunch of kale. Store them dry in your crisper drawer with a paper towel to absorb moisture. They last far longer and cost less per serving. You're not saving time with bagged salad. You're just paying more to waste more. Item number 2, name brand spices from the grocery aisle. Walk past the spice section of any major grocery store and you'll see the same brands you've seen your whole life. Same red caps, same familiar labels, and prices that have quietly doubled over the last few years. Smart preppers buy their spices somewhere completely different. The markup on name brand spices at stores like Kroger, Albertsons, or even Walmart is staggering. You're often paying 3 to 5 times more per ounce than you would at an ethnic grocery store, a restaurant supply store, or even the bulk section. I noticed this when I picked up a jar of cumin at my regular store. It was almost $7. That same weekend, I was in an international grocery market and found a bag 3 times the size for $2.50. Same cumin, different packaging. The quality difference? There isn't one. Spices are spices. The flavor compounds don't care what logo is on the bottle. Buy your spices in bulk or from international grocery stores. Transfer them into airtight jars at home. Label them with the date. They'll last longer and cost a fraction of what you're spending now. Stop paying for the label. Item number 3, individual yogurt cups. This is a category where the per unit math gets quietly brutal. Individual flavored yogurt cups, the ones people grab for lunches and kids' snacks, are one of the worst value propositions in the entire dairy aisle. You're paying for single-serve packaging, flavoring that often includes added sugar and a shelf life that doesn't give you much room. I looked at this closely last spring when I was trying to cut our grocery bill. A 4-pack of individual strawberry yogurt at a major chain was running close to $6. A large 32-ounce container of plain Greek yogurt at the same store was $4 and change. The 32-ounce container had more protein, less sugar, and cost less than half the price per serving. Smart preppers buy large tubs of plain yogurt and flavor it at home with a spoonful of jam, some honey, or fresh fruit. It takes 30 seconds. The savings are immediate, and the result is actually better nutritionally. The individual cups are designed for convenience, and convenience at the grocery store almost always has a hidden tax on it. Don't pay that tax. Item number 4, pre-marinated meats. You'll find these all over the meat section now. Chicken thighs in teriyaki sauce. pork tenderloin with garlic herb seasoning, beef strips in fajita marinade. They look ready to cook and they feel like a time saver. But smart preppers almost never put these in the cart. Here's what most people don't realize. Pre-marinated meats are often made from cuts that are near the end of their usable window. The marinade isn't just for flavor. It masks the color and extends the perceived freshness of meat that wouldn't look as appealing on its own. I spoke to someone who worked in a grocery store meat department for years. He told me that pre-marinated products are one of the ways stores move protein that's approaching its sell-by date. The marinade does a lot of work that the meat itself can't do anymore. On top of that, you're paying for the marinade by weight. You're literally buying water, sodium, and seasoning at meat prices. Buy your protein plain. Learn 2 or 3 simple marinades you can make at home in 5 minutes. Your food will taste better, cost less, and you'll know exactly what's in it. This one really changed how I shop. Item number 5. Bottled water in small packs. I know this feels like a debate that's been settled, but it keeps coming up because people keep buying it. And the math never works in their favor. A 24-pack of half-liter water bottles at Walmart runs around $5 to $8 depending on the brand. That sounds reasonable until you calculate cost per gallon. You're spending anywhere from $3 to $6 per gallon on water. The average municipal tap water cost in the United States is less than 1 cent per gallon. Even if you invest in a quality countertop filter or a pitcher with a replaceable cartridge, you're coming out dramatically ahead within the first month. Smart preppers who are stocking water for emergencies use large food-grade containers and fill them from filtered tap water. They refresh them every 6 to 12 months. I made this switch about 3 years ago. I bought a simple pitcher filter, a few large storage jugs, and I haven't bought a case of water bottles since. My annual water spending went from over $300 down to under $30. For everyday hydration, a reusable bottle and a decent filter is all you need. For emergency prep, bulk containers are the answer. The small packs are one of the most expensive ways to hydrate yourself. And the packaging waste is just insult added to injury. Item number 6. Frozen meals labeled healthy or lean. This is a category where the marketing is doing a lot of heavy lifting and the actual product is doing very little. Frozen meals with words like lean, clean, healthy, or smart on the box are often among the most expensive cost per calorie items in the entire freezer section. And the nutrition rarely matches the promise. Many of these products are high in sodium, use lower quality protein sources, and provide portion sizes so small that most adults are hungry again within 90 minutes. You're not getting a meal, you're getting a snack with a wellness label on it. I went through a phase where I was buying these regularly because I told myself they were better than fast food. Then I actually started reading labels. Some of the healthy frozen meals had more sodium than a bag of chips and barely 8 grams of protein. Smart preppers batch cook instead. On Sunday afternoons, they make a large pot of something real, rice and beans, soup, roasted chicken and vegetables, and portion it out for the week. The cost per serving is a fraction of the frozen aisle alternative, and the nutrition is incomparable. The healthy frozen meal is one of the greatest marketing sleights of hand in the grocery store. You're paying a premium for the illusion of good choices. Cook once, eat smart all week. Item number 7. Shredded cheese in bags. Stop what you're doing. This is the one I promised you. Shredded cheese in resealable bags is one of the most cleverly disguised rip-offs in your entire grocery cart, and almost nobody talks about it. Here's what's actually in that bag. Yes, there's cheese, but there's also cellulose powder, a wood pulp derivative, added to prevent clumping. And that coating does something else too. It prevents the cheese from melting properly. If you've ever made a homemade pizza or a grilled cheese and wondered why the cheese doesn't quite melt the way it should, this is probably why. The anti-caking agent creates a film around each shred that resists heat. I discovered this when I was making lasagna, and the cheese came out grainy and strange. I did some reading and realized the bag cheese was the culprit. I switched to a block of mozzarella and shredded it myself. The difference was immediate and obvious. Beyond the texture issue, you're also paying a significant markup for the convenience of pre-shredding. Block cheese is almost always cheaper per ounce at the same store. Sometimes the price difference is as much as 30 to 40%. Buy the block. A cheap box grater costs $4 and takes 60 seconds per use. Your food will melt better, taste better, and cost less. This is the kind of thing they absolutely do not want you to notice. Item number 08. Store brand olive oil in large jugs. This one is going to feel counterintuitive. Store brand sounds smart. Large jug sounds like value. But smart preppers are cautious about this specific combination. Olive oil fraud has been a documented issue in the food industry for years. Studies have repeatedly found that a significant percentage of products labelled extra virgin olive oil, especially lower-priced options, don't meet the legal standard for that classification. Some are cut with cheaper oils entirely. The problem gets worse the larger and cheaper the bottle is. Premium extra virgin olive oil is expensive to produce correctly. When a product is priced well below market rate, there's usually a reason. I don't buy the cheapest option anymore. I buy a medium-sized bottle from a brand with a harvest date printed on the label. That date matters. Olive oil degrades over time, and a real producer will tell you exactly when theirs was made. For cooking at high heat, smart preppers often use avocado oil or refined coconut oil instead, saving the good olive oil for dressings and finishing. The large, cheap jug is a false economy. You're often not getting what the label says, and even if you are, olive oil's quality degrades faster in large containers that take months to use. Buy smaller. Buy smarter. Item number 9. Granola and granola bars. Granola has a health halo that it really hasn't earned. Most commercial granola, the kind in the cereal aisle and the snack bar section, is loaded with added sugar, often rivaling dessert foods gram for gram. A single serving of some popular granola brands has as much sugar as a small candy bar. And then there's the price. Granola is among the most marked up products in the breakfast aisle. You're paying for oats, oil, sugar, and some nuts, ingredients that cost very little, at prices that feel like you're buying something premium. I checked the label on a well-known granola brand last month. The first 3 ingredients were oats, sugar, and rice syrup. I could replicate that recipe at home with ingredients from my pantry for about 1/5 the store price. Smart preppers make their own granola or skip it entirely in favor of plain oats with real toppings. A 50-ounce canister of rolled oats at Costco costs around $9 and makes enough breakfast to last weeks. The same amount of pre-packaged granola would cost you $40 to $60. Granola bars are the same story in a smaller package. Convenient, expensive, and often much less nutritious than they appear. Don't pay for the health story. Pay for actual nutrition. Item number 10. Single-use condiment bottles. This is less about a specific food and more about a shopping pattern that quietly drains your budget. Small-size condiment bottles, the ones you buy because they're on sale or because you don't want to commit to the big size, are almost always a worse deal than their larger counterparts. The price per ounce math is brutal in nearly every category. Ketchup, mustard, hot sauce, salad dressing, mayo. I went through my pantry last fall and calculated what I'd been spending on condiments. I had bought medium-sized bottles of 4 different items over the previous 3 months. The same 4 items in large sizes would have cost me about 40% less per ounce. Smart preppers buy condiments in the largest size they'll realistically use before the product expires. They store them properly. Many condiments last far longer than people realize, even after opening, when refrigerated correctly. There's also the packaging waste to consider. 3 small bottles use more plastic and generate more trash than 1 large bottle with the same total volume. The small bottle feels like a safe, low-commitment buy. That's exactly why it costs more. Go big on things you actually use. It's one of the simplest ways to cut your grocery bill. Item Number 11. Flavored instant oatmeal packets. This is a staple in millions of American households. It's fast, it's easy, and it's cheap. Or so it seems. Flavored instant oatmeal packets are a masterclass in food industry margin engineering. You're buying a product that is roughly 80% oats and 20% flavoring, sweeteners, and sodium, all in individual portion packaging that multiplies the price dramatically. A box of 10 flavored oatmeal packets often costs $5 to $7. A large canister of plain rolled oats that makes dozens of servings costs about the same, sometimes less. The processing that makes instant oats instant also reduces some of their nutritional benefit compared to rolled or steel-cut oats. You get a faster spike in blood sugar and less staying power through the morning. I switched my household away from the packets about 2 years ago. I make a pot of rolled oats, add cinnamon, a small amount of maple syrup, and whatever fruit we have. It takes about 8 minutes. My kids couldn't tell the difference after the first week. Smart preppers buy plain oats in bulk and keep a few simple additions on hand. The cost drops dramatically, the nutrition improves, and you stop throwing away all that single-use packaging. The flavored packet is sold as a convenience. What it's actually delivering is a convenience tax. Item number 12. Cut and packaged fruit. We're ending with one of the most common and most costly grocery habits most families don't even question. Pre-cut fruit in plastic containers, the melon cubes, the pineapple chunks, the mixed fruit trays, is one of the highest markups in the entire store. You're paying 2 to 4 times the price of whole fruit for the same product with the skin removed. A whole pineapple at most grocery stores runs between $2 and $4. A container of pre-cut pineapple chunks the same size as that whole fruit, often $8 to $12. I understand the appeal. Cutting a pineapple or a whole watermelon feels like effort, but it's maybe 5 minutes of actual work, and the savings are substantial. Pre-cut fruit also has a significantly shorter shelf life once cut. The exposed surface oxidizes, the texture changes, and it needs to be consumed within a few days. A whole fruit lasts far longer and gives you more flexibility. Smart preppers buy whole fruit, cut it on Sunday, and store it in their own airtight containers. They control the freshness, they save the money, and they're not paying for plastic clamshells they're just going to recycle anyway. This is one of those habits where you can immediately see the savings. Week 1, first grocery trip. Buy whole, cut yourself, keep the difference. Here's the pattern across all 12 of these items. Every single one of them trades on convenience, packaging, or branding to charge you more for something you could easily get another way. The grocery store is designed, carefully, intentionally designed, to make the more expensive option feel like the smarter one. The healthy label, the resealable bag, the single-serve portion, the pre-cut container. These aren't gifts to consumers. They're profit mechanisms wrapped in the language of convenience. Smart preppers have figured this out. They've reclaimed control over their food budget, not by buying less, but by buying differently. They get more value, more nutrition, and more peace of mind because they stopped paying for the packaging and started paying for the food itself. You don't need to overhaul your entire shopping routine overnight. Start with 1 or 2 items from this list. Block cheese instead of shredded, whole fruit instead of pre-cut, plain oats instead of packets. Do that for 1 month and look at your grocery receipts. The difference will be obvious, and once you see it, you won't go back. Most people will keep buying the bagged salad and the flavored yogurt cups and the pre-marinated chicken. They'll keep doing it because nobody told them not to. Nobody showed them the math. Now you've seen it, you're ahead of the curve. And that's exactly where you want to be. If this was useful to you, please subscribe right now. We put out this kind of insider consumer content every single week. Real strategies, real numbers, real talk about where your money is actually going. Leave a comment below and tell me which item surprised you the most. I read every single one. Next week, we're covering something I've been researching for months. Grocery store tactics that are specifically designed to increase your cart size without you realizing it. If this video resonated with you, You will not want to miss that one. Thank you for watching. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, and I'll see you in the next one.